Alright, alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Hakakodash. Double honors to my elder, it's like double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who teach you well. And Shalom to all the sincere Akim, that's pushing truth and holding faith towards the four corners of the earth. Shalom, Shalom. On this lesson, I want to go to and breaking down the damn, so-called stronghold of hell, man, according to these Christians. I'm gonna break it down. Alvarado be edifying through the spirit power Yahweh Shemi Shai. So we're gonna jump right to it. This is the book of Mark, chapter 9, and verse 43, and it reads, "And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life mammon than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched." So when you ask a question, when you on highways or byways, whatever, and you read that, automatically, that doggone trigger's gonna go off their brain. When it says a fire that should never be quenched, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's hell, blah blah blah. So now you break it down to them. You have to go into that with that Greek. Uh, get this. See, what is it? Go into no, I'm tripping. 43. Come. Must have put it wrong. Life meant to heaven. Come. All right. This is Gehenna. See if I can hear.
Strong's G 1067. Gehenna. Gehenna.
Strong's G 1067 Gehenna, whatever. It says hell is the place of a future punishment called Gehenna or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fitful symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. We always what do we revert back to? We revert back to original. All that Greek folklore and Greek mythology that was placed in here, man, placed in the scriptures, or so-called placed in the scriptures. With that Constantine, the council Nicaea, man, and things of that nature. But we were right back to the original definition. It was a valley of Hinnom. So you'll go into the Blue Letter and you'll say it's a physical place. It says it's south of Jerusalem where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out. So it was a landfill. Where you would now you would go take your trash out, the garbage man come pick it up. Then he would go to the big lot or the big dump or the landfill or whatever, and he'll dump it, man. He'll dump all that trash. You know. So it was a physical place south of Jerusalem. It's not in the damn fucking earth's core, man, where your spirit burns forever. That's just stupid. Verse 44, where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. Yeah, where does maggots and insects like that dwell in? They dwell in filth, trash. So a worm is in hell. That don't make any sense. A worm is burning with the so-called evil spirits. That don't make any sense at all. And the fire is not quenched. Yeah, a person was always working there. It was always adding fuel to the fire because you don't want your city, man. You don't want your city to be rotten and stinky. You know what I mean? You want your city. We were clean people. And we still are to an extent. But, we were clean people, man. And I'm going to get that more, how we use the Valley of Hinnom for wickedness, though. Passing our children through the fire. This is where I want Second Chronicles. All right, yeah, con. Second Chronicles 33 and verse 16. It reads, but did I want this? So let me see. 33 and 6. I'll just read it from here. It says, and he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also he observed times and used enchantments and used witchcraft and dealt with a familiar spirit and with wizards. He wrought much evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him into anger. So we use that valley of Hinnom, to pass our children into the fire, to make sacrifices unto that demon Molech, to the power of Molech. And let me get this in Jonah, showing you that it was a place or is a state of affliction, state of misery. Our brothers' desires be edifying. Let me see what Jonah had. So yeah. This is Jonah chapter 2. We're gonna start at 1. Start from the last verse. It said, "Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights." So it already clarifies right there, man, that what Jonah was in. He was in the belly of a fish, man. He wasn't in the middle of the earth's core, burning, burning forever, man. No, he was with a fish, man, in his belly. What is a fish surrounded by? Water. It says, verse 1 from the top, Jonah 2 and 1, it says, "Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his power out of the fish's belly." Yeah, it already clarifies, man. Jonah was in the fish's belly. It says, "And said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried out, and thou heardest my voice. Salaki. So what? He was in the belly of hell. He was in a state of misery, a state of he being afflicted. He was in the fish's belly. That was the hell that he was going through, man. That was the hell that the Lord had set up unto him, man. And he was going through it. He was going in the belly of hell. You just ask a Christian. So they usually say they know Jonah's story. He was in the 3 days, blah blah blah. You ask him, a fish is in water, right? They'd be like, yeah. Yeah, fish is surrounded by water. So how, according to your understanding that you've been taught and you're speaking to me, how is hell in this sense the same understanding that you have been taught? I don't know, man. Like it doesn't make sense because what they've been taught is wrong, is lies. He wasn't in the middle in the fish's belly with a fire surrounding him. No, he was in what? Surrounded by water. Verse 3, it says, "For thou hast cast me into the deep, into the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about, all the billows and waves passed over me." Yeah, that man, our brother Jonah, man, he was in hell, man. Man was going through serious affliction. Talk about waves, compassing around about, all that, man. He don't know if he gonna live or die. Blase blah, man. That man he was going through what? Hell. Let me get this in Acts 2. Acts 2, proving more hell can be, the grave. This is Acts 2 as well as, captivity and affliction. This is Acts 2, we're gonna start from verse 25. "For David speaketh," so it's talking about our great king, King David. It says, "For David speaketh concerning him, I foresaw the Lord always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I shall not be moved. Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover also my flesh shall rest in hope, because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption." You ask a Christian again. So does this mean King David went into hell? From his understanding, he's just gonna say yes because he doesn't know any better. They don't know any better. So now you have to go break it down. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 137, and verse 1. Now we know King David, he ruled all of his enemies, man. Approximately like 40 years, But I'm breaking down more. It says, "By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept. When we remember Zion, we hang our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required us a song, and they that wasted us required us of us mirth, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing of the Lord's song in a strange land?" So King David, man, he ruled over all his enemies. Ruled in peace. I think it was 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. So how was King David in captivity? Now we know reincarnation. And then you compare the two up too. You can actually, if ask them whatever, is reincarnation real? If they say yes, then how is hell real according to your understanding? If we reincarnate, if we come back in the flesh, the same spirit, how is hell real according to your understanding? Don't we get, after death, what is we go to the lower realms of hell according to what we did on this earth? So that don't make sense. Through reincarnation, King David, where he was put in captivity, through his reincarnation. How can you sing? How can we sing a song in a strange land? He was going through the hell, same as not the same as, but in the general sense of like of Jonah. He was going through affliction, his hell that he had went through the reincarnation, where he was, you know, went into their what Babylonian captivity by what King Nebuchadnezzar. So that's what it means. It would not leave my soul in hell. He would not leave, King David to be afflicted, to be in captivity. Let me go more and more on that Acts 2. See Acts 2. It's like I'm in Acts 7. I'm tripping. All right. All right. This is Acts 2 and 28. It says, "Thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you, the patriarch of David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that the Most High have sworn with an oath to him that of the fruit of his loins, according to his flesh, he will raise up Hamashiach to sit on his throne." Yeah, and through King David, all the way through Joseph, which he came out of Joseph's loins, man. He came out of Joseph's loins. Mary and Joseph had sex. Seed, semen, that's produced from the man. They had sex, man. Lord willing, I'll rather make a video on that soon. But through King David all the way to Joshua, he made Hamashiach Yahushai. Says 31, he sinned. So latter part of 30 says he will raise up Christ to sit on his throne. It says he seen this before, spake out of the resurrection of Hamashiach, that his soul was not left in hell, neither did his flesh see corruption. So again, you were asked a Christian or whatever on the personal highways and byways. Great King, our great King, Yahushai, according to your understanding, does that mean he went to hell? They won't take it face value. They don't know any better. They haven't been taught. This wasn't my understanding. The elect have, and Abaratazah we be at that number. Abaratazah we be at that number. They're gonna probably most likely say, yeah. Yeah, okay. So now you go break it down. That means his body, didn't decompose. This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40. It says, "For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." So our great King Yahushai, his body His body didn't decompose. His body didn't decompose like we do. After 3 days or so, or a point amount of time, our body, start to decompose, like Ecclesiastes 12 and 7. We return to the dust, we decompose, because we're regular humans or whatever. And our spirit go back into the Father, to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But his body, we go back in Acts 2. His body, it's Acts 2, where it says, am I in Acts 2? I'm in Romans 2, slack you. I'm going to jump in the gun. Yeah, it says his body, slack, not his body, but it says his flesh, his flesh did, neither his flesh did see corruption. His body, where his carnal body that his spirit was under, his flesh didn't rot like us humans regularly do. He didn't, his body didn't decompose and get all, skinny and things of that nature and all stinky. Nah, he rose up, like it says in Matthew 12 and 40. He rose up again. Amen. I brought the Zah. It's be edifying. And you got other scriptures, but Jonah 2 and Acts 2, those are, your heavy hitters. You can go into, reincarnation as well. Because, according to, we know if reincarnation and hell is real. Hell is real, but it's not, real according to these Christians, wasn't my understanding. We know all that Hades and Pluto, that's just Greek mythology, myths, man, fables, lies, folklore. You know, that's just lies at the end of the day. That's just campfire stories, you know. As brother Yediah has said, that's just campfire stories that they gather around and, oh, let me tell you something that happened in 18. Nah, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You know, but I brought this out to be edifying to the elect. For that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakak, Dash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, a great millstone, teaching well. Shalom to all the sincere Akim that's pushing truth and holding faith towards the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom.